Hey, how you doing? This is Kitch, and you are watching me play Factorio. Been watching the factory for a while now, and things are starting to look pretty good, if you ask me. Water and oil are looking very, very good. These trains are filling up at a respectable rate, and water is no longer a bottleneck. Very, very happy about that. As soon as we fixed the water situation, though, a new bottleneck appeared, and that was iron ore. A lot of these modules were starved of iron ore, and I fixed that in a couple of different ways. One, I set up a new outpost right here to get some more iron, but I also made a change to our existing iron outpost. If we just take a look here, well, actually, let's look at like the copper outpost and see if we can see the problem that I'm talking about. So our miners right now are at 250% mining productivity. Which means that for every cycle they can produce like 3.5 ore. They're producing a ton of ore right now, most of that for free. And what's happening is, since this belt is only going one direction, these miners on the end are working because they have open belt space, but these miners over here aren't doing anything. And because of our high mining productivity, it's going to be a very, very long time for this miner here to get through 7.8 million. 24 million is what this guy needs to go through, basically, with our mining productivity bonus, so that this one will finally get a chance to work. So what I did is basically split our iron patch in half and sent one side out to the left, one side out to the right. Ran a couple of extra belts and then combined them together. We're not getting full belts out, but we're getting a lot more out than we were. And as we get more mining productivity, this belt's just going to get fuller and fuller. That's all there is. And that's causing the station to back up again and is working out very well. Did the same for this iron station up here. And this one's actually starting to back up even with those changes. But I think that may have been enough. Adding this was a little bit excessive. But we have it now. We might be able to use this one for our next. I would like it if I could support one of these off of 2 iron patches. That would make me extremely happy. Having to do like 2.5 kind of stinks. But we'll see how that goes. Also, other updates, expanded the solar route a little bit. It looks like it has been built. I did some work over here on this corner with some landfill in order to make that corner just a little bit cleaner. I wasn't too happy with it. But as I was laying down landfill, I noticed that a train of landfill really doesn't get you very far. So I decided to make a dedicated landfill facility down here that I didn't finish because it was about at this point where I noticed we were having an iron problem. And I think that pretty much brings you up to date, except for looking at the production stats. Let's go out 10 minutes. And we are at 360 science a minute, which I am very, very thrilled about. 960 is what we should be able to make with this. We're making more than that. So I am thrilled. This works as is, and I'm extremely happy. Traffic is okay. There's some slowdowns here and there, but that's going to be expected. I think one of the major problems we were having was, especially when we were running slow on iron, is that this station would back up, and we had this problem where we don't have a lot of buffer room here, and these intersections are very, very close together. That's kind of my big concern. I'm hoping we're not going to get into a deadlock situation. It's really hard for me to foresee that until it actually happens. We were getting it down here. We get an iron train coming in, and the stacker would be full because we were running low on iron. And then we get a train that would come in and want to get into this stacker, but he couldn't. So it was blocking up everything. Fixing the iron problem didn't fix that. But I don't know. Maybe just take a little look at traffic. I think that'd be a good idea. So let's roll the intro, and we'll just make sure that things are running as smoothly as they can. It was mentioned mentioned in the comments that my signaling was wrong. That's not the first time someone has mentioned that. It's come up before in earlier videos. So I thought I would spend a little time to review this and make sure everything is okay. I did do this pretty fast, so maybe there's a mistake here or there. Just going to start with this iron station. So basics, my understanding of the way that signals work is that the regular signals will break a train track up into blocks, and the basic rule is that you can only have one train in a block at a time. So if I had a train in this red block right here, this signal would be red, and any train coming this way would be blocked into going into this block until the train left. And then the signal would turn green, and then the train could proceed. Chain signals work the exact same way. They have the exact same feature, but a couple of added benefits on top of that. One, they carry forward the signal of the signals that are down the line. So this signal is looking down the line at the next set of signals, and it's finding this one, and it's carrying that signal forward. Now, it's blue right now because we have one closed signal. We have this train in this block, and we have one that's open. Now, as soon as this one opens up, it's now going to be green because both lanes are green. And by the same, if both of these were red, this signal would be red. Meaning that if a train was coming in here, he would have to stop right here and wait before. He wouldn't wait at these signals. He would wait at this one. Now, this is blue right now, so if a train came in and he wanted to go to this station, he would stop. But because we have a chain signal at the beginning of our stacker, he will reevaluate his life and would choose the other one. I forget what series that was. I believe it might have been Impractical where we were having that problem, and we were able to visualize that and see the train actually make that decision because of that train signal, and we weren't getting that problem where they would back up on the rails anymore. So yeah, that goes into there. That's why the chain signal is at the start of the stacker. Let's see. Yeah, regular signals, chain signals carry forward the signal. Can track multiple different signal states, and trains can reevaluate when they're stopped at a chain signal. Then we move forward. This is a stacker, so we have regular signals here blocking off these individual lanes, which is correct, which is what we want to occur. At the end of the stacker, we have chain signals. Because this is waiting on the open station signal before he goes forward. So now that we have an open station, yeah, this guy will come on in and fill that in. Usually on a stacker, I try to remember to put a chain signal here so that we have a decision maker, just like we have on the end. But that really only applies if you have multiple stations. We only have one, so that is not needed here. Again, that looks correct. That'll go around. We have a signal right here, which is our station signal, which is what these guys are looking at to let it know whenever that is open. We have our terminal signal here for our train stop. Whenever this guy leaves, that clears this block and will allow the next train to come in, which is correct. And then we go out into our normal network. The normal network, for the most part, that I'm very confident in the signaling of the rail blueprint. Very, very confident. I feel like that's been tested, tried, and true a lot. There could be problems with it. I'm not sure, but I've never experienced any issues with and I've been running that for several series now. All right, so this one coming in. You come in, same thing. We have a chain signal on the inside of our stacker. Stacker, chain signals at the end of the stacker, a chain signal right there for a station selector. We've got our station signals right there. An exit signal there, an exit signal there, and I put an extra signal there for reasons. That goes to a chain so that he doesn't block that intersection. should he go that way. There's absolutely no reason for him to go that way, but in case he does, that looks all good to me. And all these should be just copy pastes, for good or bad. That doesn't need to be there. I don't think that's doing much for us. But yeah, no, all these should be exactly the same. Exit signal, exit signal, exit signal. The only thing I could potentially think... Now, these are all based off of this blueprint, right? They're just... all the signals should be based off of that. Yeah, just regular T-junction intersection. This one's actually goofy. Got an extra one there. Not that that's really doing much for us. The problem we were having before with the iron trains could partially be fixed, I think, by turning that into a chain signal. So if both of those were blocked, that would carry the signal on, and that iron train would have stopped right here instead of right there, leaving that intersection open. That's a thought. Let's just do that. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. But let's do that in particular on our iron and copper stations, since those stations are so large. So yeah, that'll carry forward, and that'll prevent this up and down lane from being blocked whenever there's a train wanting to get in there. Shouldn't be a problem as long as we keep our resources full. But you know, it's always possible, I guess. For these stations, I mean, I feel like they've been working out fairly well. There is something to be said, I guess, for setting that to be a chain signal. Was that just messed up? No, it's a normal signal by default because it's the exit of that block. It's not normal to have a stacker on the other side of a T-junction. That'd be good. That would block all. That would block this train from blocking that direction, if he were stuck. But there's never going to be anybody stuck at this stacker. And as a matter of fact, I'm not sure this stacker is even necessary. I put this stacker in here initially because I had the thought that there was no way we would be able to supply all this off of one train each. We would have to have at least two of something. But that does not appear to be true. So I don't think it's needed. Let's go through here and we'll remove... Let's just remove it. Let's just remove it on the first one. And we'll see if it's actually necessary. I'm thinking it's probably not. That could potentially help with traffic as well. Or at least with, like, delivery of stuff. Because right now, if I had a... Let's say I had an iron train and a copper train come in at the exact same time. And the iron train came first. The iron train would have to make it all the way to his station? No. He would have to make it just to right here before this copper train could leave the stacker and come here. But if we make that just a continuous line, the copper train can just follow the iron train right behind it, just a block behind. And when the iron train pulls off here, the copper train could potentially be in this block and then just come around. So at least I think that's how that works. I'm a fan of it. Now, the only time when we're going to have multiple trains going to the same station is when we're building it. And in that case, we've got size 2 trains, and there's 3 of them? 4 of them, if we count this one. And we could potentially have a building train going through. So, but they're small, so I think they can just queue up on this line right here. They're not going to be conflicting with any of the other trains because they're only going to be there when we're building the station. So, yeah, I think this is going to work out. Let's just make these initial blocks smaller so they can support small trains. We do not need those as chain signals anymore. You come in like that. That goes there. That goes there. Signal coming out, letting them know that that is clear should you want to go there. Regular signal, those are stations. And that's going to come around here. That's a station. Do we need one right here? There's no reason for it. That's a split. This is coming in. That does not need to be a chain. We have these back here. There's nothing to be gained from the train waiting up here as opposed to back there. So that works. Now, there is a rule when you're learning signals. You might learn that when 2 tracks come together or at an intersection, we want a chain signal. Something like this right here, and then we want a regular signal on the way out. So chain on the way in, regular on the way out. Now that is not necessary here, I don't think. So the idea behind having the chain signal here is that if this block up here is blocked, we have a train up here. This train, if this is a chain, this train will stop right here as opposed to right here. And if he stopped right here, it's going to block these tracks. But it doesn't matter because they're all going the same place. The only thing that could potentially make a difference here, they're all going here to exit. The only thing would be that if a copper train was coming through here, we might want to stop here so that the copper train could go in there. But the copper train's never going to do that. He's always going to flow around here, so they're going to follow that line. So yeah, I think that's good. We'll just make that a regular signal. We'll put that track back. That's actually needed. That's coming in. Okay, we have another intersection here. This one's got exits going both ways. We could put a chain signal here because there is a potential of this train waiting here whenever we have an iron or whenever we have the coal and stone train, he could sneak around and get in there even though this block was blocked. So that makes sense to me. However unlikely, it's still a possibility. Regular signals, station. These were all chain signals in the middle because this was all part of the stacker setup. Those needed to be on the exit from there to let them know that's good to go. That is a station. Might as well move that a little closer. And this is our big grand exit. So it should be all regular signals from here on out. That block. Distribute that a little bit more evenlier. Something like that. That'll come out. We could make these blocks smaller, I guess. I don't know if there's any benefit to that, performance-wise. That's going to come on out. There's a benefit train-wise, because with longer trains especially, because if we didn't have this signal here, a train in here, this train wouldn't be able to move until he got down here. But if we put one here, he can move whenever this train gets to here. Here's a prime example of that. If we had a signal right here, that train wouldn't have had to stop there. He could stop there instead. And that's coming on out. This is going to be our exit. And that should be a chain signal. Did that get changed? Yeah, I mean, that's even a chain signal in the blueprint. The reason being on exit, should he want to exit this way, he could potentially clog that up, which we would not want. All right, I think that looks okay. We'll see how that works out. I'm not seeing any problems with it. All the trains look in their stations and just as happy as can be. I don't remember. Did we look at the production stats? We'll just look at them again. If we did not, we are at 960, hovering around there a little bit. It's not by far our max, but that's where we need to be. Going on an hour. Oh, okay. I guess we've waited long enough. Fantastic. 963. 960. I'm very pleased. I'm very, very pleased. Going 10 hours. Yeah, you can see we were up. We were doing just fine. There's our 1K. We did hit 1K. Someone was saying that was an estimate from something. I don't think so. I don't think that's the way it works. I don't think it rounds up because we had like 977 right there. I don't know what happened there, but it did. I'm taking it. Yeah, 960. Then we have our dip here. I think this is when I discovered the iron problem. And then as we get our iron going back up, we're stabilizing. I'm very, very, very thrilled with that. Let's see. Anything else that we need to do up here? I don't think so. We still have a couple of minutes. Let's... what do I have in my inventory? We have things. We have stuff. I think this works. Let's call this train up to where I am. I was going to put a turnaround in for this guy. We got space here. Let's do it from this end. I don't know how far you need to go up in order to make that. We need to stop you. Stop you. Actually, panic. Where do we go? Where do you go? You go there. I couldn't think of where to put him. Let's see. Is that going to work? Actually, why don't you go to that station? That way we can keep an eye on you. All right, that's what we want. All right, there. Oh, he's going to have to go out to Kingdom Coming back, isn't he? Well... we won't worry about him. Let's get this finished up. Okay, so this turnaround here is specifically for, well, yeah, you just go on. We'll deal with you later. Let's see, signal. if you are backing up, you're going to back up everything. So let's make that a chain, that a chain. This is where the chain on the in, regular on the out makes a little bit more sense. Then you come around. Chain, chain, and I think we'll just leave our regular signals there. Signal there. Actually, do I care if I block this? Do I want to block this train for the fuel train? I don't know that I do. Ever. For any reason. I always want to give right away. But, you know, that's for everything, too. Even though the fuel train... And the fuel train's super speedy, so... I think that works. Let's just double check that. Regular signal going in, a chain to stop there. We could turn that into a chain, but it doesn't matter because if that's blocked, that's blocked. That is a block there. We have a chain coming in, so you will stop there. If anything is blocked up there... then we almost want to make... like that a chain too, right? So that if you can't go through here, the train will stop back there and not block the entrance there. Let's watch this for a minute. He was slowing down because that area was blocked, which is okay. You're slowing down because that's just a really, really long block. With all of those chain signals. But it's better than a stop. Much better than a stop.
Plus this.
I feel like I should play some music. Maybe I'll edit that in. I mean, if we put... if we turn that into a regular signal... that means if this is blocked, the train's going to stop there to allow the fuel train through. But, I mean, I don't care if this is blocked, because that's just the fuel train, and I don't mind if the fuel train has to wait a little bit. And then that signal right there will make it to where these trains don't have to slow down if we have a train right here. I think I like that better. All right. Well, enough just sitting and watching trains all day. Though I'm planning on continuing to do this. Maybe we'll do an in-betwixt episodes where it's just staring at trains all day. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next episode. Have a good one.